we're gonna start working on our putting up our front door casing. All right, I already have my pieces cut, and I cut some joinery in it like this, so the top plate will sit down on the side plates. So and they won't be able to pull out this way. So and I have them all labeled, right, left, and then the interiors. Yeah, these pieces, it's kind of hard to get them plumb. I'm trying to line up the reveal because it should match the siding. And when I put a level on it, my blade was getting dull when I cut these. Sometimes it's easy to tell on a sawmill. Sometimes it's you don't really see it until you start trying to cut dimensional lumber out of it. It'll start having little waves and bows in it. So when I put the level on it, this one's not as bad. Well, the back's kind of wonky. Just depends on where I span it. It kind of hits humps and valleys. I think overall that's fairly plumb. that's good and level. So what I'm doing is I started these corners. I'm looking at as like an anchor point. And look, I'm not a finished carpenter or anything by any stretch. So, and when I say these are kind of my anchor points because it's you know, these are mortised in with each other. So there's not going to be any in and out I can do up here at the corners or up and down. So what all I wanted was I have level right here, and then I have a you know, I wanted just to keep it flat and 90 from here. But so now all I'm trying to do is get this level or plumb from the top to the bottom. So I had a little bit of outward right here because I could see the reveal. First of all, I was a little out of plumb, so I drew that in some to get it plumb on the level. And then I could tell there was a little bit of gap between my casing and the levels, which means I had to bring the board out to the level just a little bit right up in here. So that's why here I screwed first to draw the board in to where it was plumb. Then I put my shims in to block it and snug my nail up. So I kept that plumb. And then right here in the middle, there was a little gap between the casing and my straight edge. So that's why I took these and bumped them in to bring the board out to the level. So now that's pretty good. And I'll put a screw in that. Alright, so I'm changing my anchor point now to this bottom corner. So I snugged that up and I got level to here, and then from here to here there was a bow, and well, anyhow, I kept having to go in with that leg until it was hitting the framing and there was no more in to go. So what I did was I just went ahead and screwed that flush with the frame, and now I'm going to work my way up and shim it. So it looks like my frame is a little off, which that's why we make them with room so we can shim and move our casings around. So as I got to the bottom, I mean, I wasn't very far out, but like I said earlier, I try to get it as good as I can, knowing that it still is not going to be perfect, but so I'm going to try to get it as good as I can get it. That needs to come out some more. That's much better. So now I'm level. Or plumb all the way up. Yeah, and I'm pretty much racked in my frame, so I'm gonna have the bottom touching here and the top touching there, but it looks like I have enough to keep it pretty square. So my window casings on the I guess the ledge or the plate, I'm putting these wedges in. I was gonna do like my door casings and get a thicker piece and put it on the bandsaw mill, and what I did was just rip the corner off of it and sloped it and then worked it back with a hand planer. But I'm putting 1-bys down, so I guess my cheat is I'm going to put these wedges in. So I cut these wedges. They're 1 inch down to practically nothing. So it's going to be basically a 1-inch drop from the heel to the toe over 10 inches of of the plate. So hopefully that'll be a decent enough slope to shed some water off of it. And I'm making them the full width of the framed opening. So that way my casing legs will sit on top of the bottom plate. So that way if water does blow under them, it'll still be able to run off. I was worried about joining them, or it'd be a lot easier to put my legs and then put my plate up here at an angle. But I was afraid if water get in there, we'd just be able to run straight down and hit this and not have a place to go. So I'm putting my plate down on an angle, and then I'll have to cut my side legs with that same angle on the bottom to match this. I had to punt and make some new window sills. The other ones were 10 inches. These are 12s. So this is much, much better. So for one, I have enough overhang that I can, this is a 1-inch thick level. So I can have my trim go against the outside of the wall and still be under the sill, and there's enough lip for water to come off. And also too, on the inside, I have enough overhang on the inside to where I can butt my wall sheathing up to the the window sill. So that's going to be good. I think that's going to be good. So much better. It wasn't very bad. Luckily, I had some big enough pieces to cut the 12s and put these in. I only needed 4. This one's 56 inches. The other one's 54, and then 2 30-inch long pieces. So we ought to be pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and you know, they're level, and I'm gonna get them secured down, and then we'll go ahead and measure out for our legs and our top piece. Alright y'all, cased openings are finished. So the next step is going to be to start making the windows and the doors. I'm going to use the same oak that I made the cased openings out of. I think it's turning out just to be just beautiful wood. It's got that really nice chocolate color. When it starts drying out, it's really muted and you can't see it, but when it gets wet, those dark chocolate colors start popping out in it. And I've noticed it also actually has a little bit of a pink in some spots. So I'm excited to get some oil on them and see what they look like when I get them oiled up. I think they're going to be nice. So I'm going to make some windows and doors out of the same material, and we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching. Just let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button, and we will get there. Thank y'all.